ahead of tonight's showdown. Let's take a listen.
Guys, congratulations. Last two teams standing after the longest season and postseason in the history of big-time football. Marcus, on your side, you've already won 2 big bowl games. Confetti has fallen. That's a big deal for Notre Dame lately, yet the job's far from done. What has it taken from your group?
It's so funny. I always say the journey's never how you foresee it on the front end. And, week 1 with the highest of highs of beating Texas A&M, a huge win to the following week, the lowest of lows. And, there's things that happen that teach you lessons, and you have to be able to handle success. And now as you get ready to play a great opponent, you can't ask them to do something they haven't done before.
Redemption has been a cool theme to see. You mentioned Northern Illinois, Michigan, both cases a loss that shook the faith of a lot of the fans, but apparently didn't shake the faith of your teams. In what way was that loss maybe essential fuel to be sitting here today?
Yeah, I think about what we talked about, that foundation along the way. Those storms are going to come. And when you play the game of football, you learn a lot about your team when you go through adversity. And how you come out of that in the back end is what really matters.
All right. No one's been covering those programs closer than this guy, Desmond Howard from College Game Day. And I already saw Des. I saw Saturday morning putting in work on that Peloton.
Exactly. Just put in work on the treadmill.
We're trying.
That's right.
We're trying out here. No spring chickens.
No.
Des, what are you most looking forward to tonight?
Well, Chris Fowler, he said it eloquently. This has been the longest season in postseason in college football history, so I'm looking for it to be over. No, but I want to watch this Ohio State offense. It's been dynamic, explosive the whole postseason, except against Texas. Texas had a great defensive scheme to try to stop the explosives against a Notre Dame defense that's number 1 in the country in turnovers and in creating turnovers, and then number 1 in creating points off of turnovers. You see that man right there, Jeremiah Smith. Unc, I compared him to your brother just because of his size, his strength, his physical stature, and he's been incredible. So he's one guy that Al Golden, the DC from Notre Dame, is going to have to give extra attention to, just like Texas did. He only had 1 catch for 3 yards against the Longhorns, so you got to control him. But then this defense, man, they're for real. The Golden Domers, man, they come to play up front in the secondary. And what I love about them is they are who they are. They don't shy away from anybody. They played Georgia in the Sugar Bowl, and they took the fight to the Bulldogs. So I love the way that Al Golden has his team playing. What people start to, what they forget is that Ohio State, they went to South Bend and they played Notre Dame at 23. And they pretty much had the same footprint, offensive footprint. Like they had the explosive, dynamic 5-star receiver, Marvin Harrison Jr. They had Trevion Henderson, who's a guy who can go the distance anytime he touches the ball. But Al Golden had a masterful game plan defensively, and he stopped the explosives except one time when Trevion got loose. And then they actually just lost the game on the very last play when Ohio State was like inside the 1-yard line, and for some crazy reason, Notre Dame only had 10 players on the field on defense, and Ohio State won that game. So I just think he follows a similar blueprint defensively to try to defend this group just like he did in 23.
The question is I have, okay, you got strength on strength. Notre Dame's defense, Ohio State offense. Right. Can Notre Dame's offense move the ball against that Buckeye defense? Right. Because the Buckeye defense is really good. Right. They got high draft picks up there. They got a D-line that can attack the quarterback, and the quarterback's going to have to play a lot better this game than what he played against Penn State. It just so happens that Penn State quarterback played a little worse than what Notre Dame quarterback played. Right. But when you look at this situation right here, that's what I want to see, Stephen A. I want to see strength on strength, which is Ohio State's offense, Notre Dame defense. But can Notre Dame's offense move the ball against that Buckeye defense? I think that's going to be the difference in the ball game.
This ain't going to be Georgia versus TCU from years ago. Let's get that out the way right now. We're going to have a game tonight. We're going to have a game tonight.
At least we hope so.
At least we pray so.
Your lips to God's ears. I don't know.
That's what I'm staying for. It better be a game. Don't waste my time. But here's the deal. I'm watching Will Howard, and I'm looking at a guy that's completed 70% college football player, 70% of his pass, about 919 yards. 6 touchdowns, just 2 interceptions. He can throw the ball. Riley Leonard runs the football. What's Ohio State potent against? The run. So you got to stop Notre Dame from running the football, even from their quarterback position. What's Notre Dame, even though their defense is real, especially against the pass? Because Jeremiah Smith, we've been talking about this brother and what he brings to the table. Buka, we can't ignore him. Trevion Henderson, we can't ignore him. Notre Dame has more of a problem in terms of what they have to deal with Ohio State's offense. But Ohio State knows that, and everybody and their grandmother knows it. So if you show up tonight and all of a sudden you can't put points up, you know what I'm saying? We're going to have a problem, because let me tell you something right now. Usually it's about the SEC, for example, in terms of their physical play.
Exactly.
Well, that's been thrown out the window. Second year in a row, we got a national title game. It ain't an SEC team in it. SEC, you heard me? Let's think about that now. What's up with y'all? Can't call y'all the best conference in America when you just sit out on the outside looking in, right? But now we're looking at Notre Dame, and I'm looking at the physicality of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. And here's what I love, Des. That's the only chance they have. You can't be the softer team tonight. Am I wrong, Shay? No. You can't be the softer team tonight. You playing smash mouth football. You got to go up against Ohio State, which is clearly more talented offensively, and you got to punk them to some degree. You got to put a hat on them. You got to put some elbows in them. You got to make them work. You got to let them know this is a game tonight. You better bring your hard hat.
Get them.
100% right.
I want to get this game to the fourth quarter.
Yes.
It's a one-possession game. I don't want Ohio State to be able to run and hide in this 21-point lead going into the fourth quarter. Because the longer this game goes, Ohio State like, hold on, we better than this team. We supposed to be up 13. We supposed to be up 20. And we up 3. That's the only chance Notre Dame has to get this game late.
And I think that's what Marcus Freeman is telling his team. We keep it close. Palm's going to get sweaty. Backside's going to get tight. They're going to be worried.
Well, we know he's going to have them coached up. All right, so Notre Dame does 8.5-point underdogs. If they were able to pull off the upset, what impact would that have on college football? Because they're kind of like the Cowboys of college football.
Yeah, well, first and foremost, happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
Absolutely.
And so we have a black coach coaching the national championship game tonight. And if he's able to pull that off tonight against that team.
In Atlanta.
I mean, you could not write a better script. You just couldn't do it. And you got to understand the opponent and what they did during the offseason. You're talking about an Ohio State team that pushed all the chips to the middle of the table. They went out and got all these high-profile guys out the portal. Caleb Williams, the #1 safety. They got Caleb Downs, the #1 safety from Alabama. Quinshon Judkins, the #1 running back from Ole Miss. Then they went and got the #1 coach in the portal, too. Chip Kelly got him to quit his job as a head coach at UCLA to be their offensive play caller.
That's because they probably didn't want him, but go ahead.
Yeah, well, and they put all the chips in the table. And they say, listen, we're all in right now. So it would be catastrophic for them to lose this game tonight. To me, against a Notre Dame team that comes in, you're talking about Al Golden's defense. I mean, they're missing 4 starters on defense. I mean, this team comes limping in. This is a classic David versus Goliath matchup. And, Marcus Freeman and his group going to come in there with their slingshots and a couple of their rocks and see if they can pull off the upset.
Yeah, this might be, you have to go back, maybe Penn State beating
Miami.
When they had Benner Testaverde and all that.
That's
big.
Right.
You have to go back to a situation like that, Stephen A., where a team is that decided of an underdog and they pull because what happened? Penn State got it late into the ball game.
That's right.
And the next thing you know, they tighten up. They force 4 or 5 turnovers. And that's what Notre Dame's going to have to do. They're going to have to force Ohio State into some turnovers. They're going to have to cash them in. But they got to drag them out the deep water late in the ball game.
I agree with you, but I want to say this about Notre Dame if they were to win, to answer the question directly. I don't understand where the hell this fan base comes from. I mean, they're everywhere. I mean, it's not quite the damn Cowboys, but when you think Cowboys, Lakers in basketball, Yankees in baseball, you're like, damn, Notre Dame everywhere. They ain't a conference. They ain't been relevant in a national title picture.
They were on TV for a long time.
1988. Here's the deal. Even when they were in the national championship game against Alabama, we knew they were going to get wrong. It's one thing to get wrong. They got their ass kicked.
That's right.
We knew beforehand they were going to get their ass kicked. Okay? This is different. We're looking at this team right now, and we're saying they got a chance. And to not be in a conference, let alone you're not in the SEC, you're not in the Big Ten, anything like that, to win a national championship in the age of the NIL as an independent, okay, that it doesn't get much bigger than that. If Notre Dame wins the national championship right now, it may change the complexion of college football as we know it permanently.
Stephen A., I agree with you, because I don't really go anywhere, and they got Notre Dame diplomas on their wall. I only know 2 players, like Jerome Bettis and Tim Brown. But when I go to people's homes and office, I don't see no Notre Dame players. And then I look at the stands, where the hell are all these Notre Dame players come from?
So with that being said, Des, before I let you roll, which fan base, I'm just curious, you guys think is going to show out more tonight? Would it be Ohio State?
No.
Or we think it's going to be Notre Dame? Because they both travel.
Yeah, they travel well, but the Buckeyes are much, much louder. It takes 10 Notre Dame fans to make them the same amount of noise as 2 Buckeye fans.
Said from a Michigan Wolverine.
I'm just saying,
so you would know.
Yeah, exactly. I know both fan bases very well.
One of the greatest moments. College football. Charlie Weiss was coaching Notre Dame.
Yeah.
And invited me to the game, and I was on the sidelines for USC Notre Dame.
Ooh.
I'd never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying this. Ohio State, they going to represent their team, no doubt. But I have no doubt Notre Dame fans are going to be in the house.
I'll give you the final
I got one more thing to tell you guys. You know, when we travel around, you have random people coming up to you talking to you.
Right.
This has been the first time I have ever heard random people come up and say, you know what, I never really liked Notre Dame, but with that coach they got now, they're very likable.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's won a lot of fans over who never even liked Notre Dame.
And nobody has
before.
ever said this, but I'm going to say this. If you're the Boston Celtics, Notre Dame winning might confuse people a little bit because they got the leprechauns running around in Boston and TD Bank Garden. Everybody, who is it? Notre Dame or the Celtics?
I don't think people are getting confused. I think we're good.
I love Marcus Freeman. He's the guy that I would play for. If I had a kid that age, go play for Marcus Freeman.
We got to go. Des, appreciate you so much. You had an incredible season, and I hope next week you and the...
Xin chào tất cả các bạn đã đến với kênh YouTube của mình. Video ngày hôm nay của mình sẽ là những video tô mò. Đây, những video tô mò của những sản phẩm con vật đây các bạn ạ. Đây là con chim cánh cụt này, mình tô rất chi là nhiều con vật. Ở đây con cá sấu này, nhiều lắm. Các bạn hãy cùng theo dõi mình tô những sản phẩm nha. Đây. Và để tô được sản phẩm của mình không thể nào thiếu được hộp săn mò. Đây là hộp săn mò của mình, thường dùng này. Nó phụ trợ cho mình tô mò sản phẩm. Và bây giờ các bạn cùng theo dõi mình tô mò nha.
Rồi chị được tô mò đúng không? Tôi xong rồi.
Của mình, video ngày hôm nay của mình sẽ là những video tô mò. Đây, những video tô mò của những sản phẩm con vật đây các bạn ạ. Đây là con chim cánh cụt này, mình tô rất chi là nhiều con vật. Ở đây con cá sấu này, nhiều lắm. Các bạn hãy cùng theo dõi mình tô những sản phẩm nha. Đây. Và để tô được sản phẩm của mình không thể nào thiếu được hộp sáp mỏ. Đây là hộp sáp mỏ của mình thường dùng này, nó phụ trợ cho mình tô màu sản phẩm. Và bây giờ các bạn cùng theo dõi mình tô màu nha.
Chỉ tiếp tục còn nhé các bạn. Tô số 3 lần.